There is a lot of people on YouTube talking about the worst of the fitness industry and the worst of the health industry. Vegan Gains, Durian Rider, to mention a few. So I'm gonna talk about the best of the health industry, and I'm gonna start about with Dr. Michael Greger from Nutrition Facts.
In past years, I've addressed the most pressing dietary issues of our time, like what's the healthiest variety of apple? Or what's the most nutritious nut? Or dried fruit? Or what's the best bean? What's the best berry? What's the best bowel movement? Right? We had fun.
He's a pretty low profile guy, but he's quite funny, and he got very good things to say.
The best way to prevent death. Every year the CDC updates the latest leading causes of death in the United States. So let's start at the top and go down the list, see what's new in each category. Heart disease, number one, the 35-year follow-up of the Harvard Nurses Health Study just published. Now, the most definitive long-term study on older women's health we had. Since the study started, thousands of participants died, but that allowed them to study the risk factors for mortality. Because heart disease was the leading cause of death, it comes to no surprise that dietary cholesterol intake, right, was a significant risk factor for dying. The second leading cause was smoking-related cancer deaths. But what's so neat about this study is that it's a competing risks analysis. So it allowed them to compare different risks to one another. So consuming the amount of cholesterol found in just a single egg a day appears to cut a woman's life short as much as smoking 5 cigarettes a day for 15 years. The most protective behavior they found was fiber consumption. Eating just a couple of oatmeals worth of fiber a day appears to extend a woman's life as much as 4 hours of jogging a week.
And it backs it up with science, you know, with peer-reviewed studies, with science articles. So the thing he says on his YouTube channel is quite valid.
Why? And it doesn't appear to be the animal fat itself. And it's apparently not the animal protein, which is what's implicated in the inflammation from arthritis. So it's not the animal fat, it's not the animal protein. What is it? The whole thing is a crazy cool detective story that I'll be putting in a series of videos next week, actually, July 4th, July 5th, July 6th. But I'll just cut to the chase, spoiler alert. After a meal of animal products, people suffer from endotoxemia. Their bloodstream becomes awash with bacterial toxins, known as endotoxins, that are present in the animal products. So, no wonder our body goes crazy. These dead meat bacteria toxins aren't destroyed by stomach acid, aren't destroyed by pancreatic enzymes, right? Aren't destroyed by cooking. They tried boiling meat for hours, still didn't work. So these bacterial toxins were found to be highly resistant to cooking and our body's best attempts at acid and enzyme digestion. Now, the animal fat actually does play a profound role in this whole process by ferrying the bacterial toxins present in the meat through the gut into our system. So the reason animal products trigger immediate inflammation appears to be because they're so loaded with bacteria that can trigger inflammation dead or alive, even if they're fully cooked.
You know, it's not just his own opinion.
Following the truth for myself because I am diabetic.
When you say there's nothing bigger in the world than diabetes,
I mean, the financial implications, the costs involved are so great. And it's a completely preventable disease.
Bigger than AIDS, bigger than malaria, bigger than cancer.
It dwarfs all of them. That's because it is the single one that is going to cost so much for us and really threatens Western civilization. So I don't know what happens when you bankrupt the United States of America, which is going to happen within 10 years. I don't know what the implications are for the future of the world. I don't know what the implications are for every country, and this country too will run out of money for its medical services before 2026. What do you do then when we have to restrict access to medicine profoundly because we just simply can't treat all these obese diabetics? I went and bought their book, and an hour later that's I've eaten my last carbohydrate.
The definitive list.
Yeah, definitive list. If you eat that green list, you will not be obese, you will not be diabetic, and you will be in perfect metabolic balance. You will not be diabetic because I am diabetic.
It's also facts behind what he says, you know, so that's very good. He talks about nutrition in plant foods, why a plant-based diet is so good and healthy and can reduce cancer, health diseases, and improve a lot of other functions in the human body. And he also talks about the science and stuff in nutrition. So I think he has a lot of things to say. It's really good. He talks about hydration, how it affects the body, you know, the nutrient specs in foods and how foods affect the body, and high fat diet, low fat diet, and he compares the vegan diet to the omnivore diet and the standard American diet and the vegetarian diet. So he has a lot of things to say on his YouTube channel, so check him out, guys.
Claim there is science to support their wild claims. It may very well be true. Multi-billion-dollar industries have the cash to spread around to research establishments. The funding effect describes the uncanny correlation between the conclusion desired by a funding source and the conclusion reached by the researchers being funded. The funding effect and the strategy of manufacturing uncertainty has been used with great success by manufacturers of dangerous products to oppose public health regulation. To resist regulation, industries fund scientific reviews to downplay the risks of their products. Tobacco is the classic case, but producers have funded studies downplaying the risks of asbestos, benzene, lead, etc. This has been studied extensively in the pharmaceutical industry. Drug company funded studies just happen to be about 4 times more likely to reach a pro-industry conclusion than independent studies. But in contrast, little information is available regarding the prevalence or impact of funding by the food industry on nutrition research. Whereas bias in pharmaceutical research could have an adverse effect on the health of millions of individuals who take medications, bias in nutrition research could have an adverse effect on the health of everyone. So they looked at soda and milk. Are studies funded by Coca-Cola or the Dairy Council more likely to reach favorable conclusions about their sponsors' products? Turns out, even worse than the drug companies. The main finding of this study is that scientific articles about commonly consumed beverages funded entirely by industry were approximately 4 to 8 times more likely to be favorable to the financial interests of the sponsors than articles without industry-related funding. Of particular interest, check this out, none of the interventional studies on soda or milk with all industry support had an unfavorable conclusion. Not one.
It's really good. It's really good. So it's really nice. So, and that's one health channel on YouTube that I really love. Watch him a lot, you know, to get some facts, you know, to get some information, to get new inspiration for what I want to achieve in the future. So it's really nice. Go check him out. Peace. Love you guys.